You can sense the intensity as they await the arrival of the Tennessee team here at Neyland Stadium. The number one undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's going on, SEC fans and college football fans all over this country? That's right, it's me, Bobby C, a.k.a. Catfish, and we've got a day after the war type show today. Man, was that a ball game or what? One of the best ball games I've seen, and I don't know what it is about Nick Saban. He's got some sort of voodoo. I think there needs to be some sort of investigation going on to see if he's got some Haitian witch doctor. But, man, I tell you what, it just seems like every time you get Alabama's back against the wall, good grief, they just find a way. And I'm joking a little bit about that voodoo stuff, but just a little bit. Oh, man, I tell you what, one of the best run programs, the best dynasty we'll ever see this last 10 years with Alabama. And Georgia has got a ball team. They have got a ball team. Couch Coach has said several times that, you know, that their super team is next year, but I thought they had a chance this year. I want to hear from you guys. Woodard Whitetails is sponsoring this show. They've got a heck of a hunting lodge up there in Glasgow, Kentucky. Go check them out. And I'm going to go ahead and bring on my two guests. I've got Couch Coach and Law Tide, a Georgia and Alabama fan, and we're going to see what they think about what happened last night. I kind of have a feeling about how I know how both of these guys feel. But how you doing there, Law Tide? Are you feeling pretty good? Is the party over? Or is the party just begun?
Oh, party ain't stopping. We just gonna party until the next one. You know what I'm saying? It's a great game. Man, I'm just glad we come out with a W.
I tell you what is it about Alabama, man? It just seems like y'all have had Georgia's had your number for 2.5, 3 quarters the last few times they played, and Alabama just seems to find a way to win. And is that not one of the best stories in college football in a long time, with Tua coming in place of Hurts last year and bringing them back in an improbable win in the national title game? And then last night, Tua gets hurt. Hurts has a chance at redemption, and man, he didn't show any signs of being sitting on the bench for the last season. How does that feel to watch this as an Alabama fan?
It's amazing. I mean, it really is. I mean, you think about how the summer went and how he, spoke out about, Coach Saban not talking with him about the quarterback situation and all that. All the Alabama fans turning against him. I mean, I never did turn against him. I just thought Tua was a little better than him. But I knew if Jalen got a chance, I mean, I didn't think we would drop off that much. I just knew that Tua threw the ball better. But, as the season went on, Jalen really showed that he really improved this year throwing the football in the time that he got in. But as the story went, I mean, he came in. I mean, how could you write this? Nobody could write this. Nobody could write that Jalen Hurts, after getting set down, starting quarterback, 26-2, took his team to 2 national championship games. Put out, just pretty much put out the program where they don't, fan base don't want him. Coaching staff don't know what's up with him, what's he want to do. His daddy was talking in the paper that he'd be the best, free agent ever or whatever. I think that got a lot of the fan base against him. But for him to come in there, it was his moment, and he seized the moment. And, man, that's just what you got to do. I mean, you either define the moment or the moment defines you. And he defined the moment. And I'm so proud of that kid. I'm proud of the team. And, man, it's on to the playoff. Roll Tide.
Well, I tell you what, you talking about, he just coming in, but you think about the season, and I wonder if this is the genius of Nick Saban thinking, I might need this kid in the playoffs or the SEC championship game, but Hurts still got a lot of playing times, and he threw some touchdowns this year. I believe that's probably what helped propel him into this situation. Even though it was mop-up duty, he still came in and played a lot this season. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, everybody was talking about, well, Tua's not playing in the fourth quarter. Does he ever be in the Heisman? I mean, we were up by a bunch, and he got a chance to come in, and he shined. I know he got hurt in the Tennessee game, and he had that little surgery, and he was coming back from it. He's still not 100%. And, man, for him to come out there and do that, it just shows, what kind of perseverance and resilience that kind of character he has. And he'll always be a legend at the University of Alabama. I'm just so proud of him, and I'm definitely proud that he stayed. I mean, you had the Bryant kid from Clemson. He transferred. All these other kids wanting to transfer. But he stayed, and, man, walking home, taking that SEC championship back home, real sweet, real sweet.
Well, I'm going to bring Couch Coach on here just a second, but I've got a confession to make. I take a lot of this blame, and you Georgia fans probably need to be blaming Catfish for this. I won the Dr. Pepper Call a Play contest where I was able to call a play because I got selected for the team of my choice, and I thought I was going to help Georgia out, and I called a fake punt on 4th and 11, and I'm really sorry, Georgia fans. I've got a lot of Georgia fans out there, but Couch Coach, I'm probably more sorry to you. But what'd you think about that call? Hey, if it would have worked, I'd have been a genius. I could have run for governor.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that play. I can't even fathom how stupid that was. I've watched 30 years of football, and I have never in my life seen something so idiotic from someone who gets paid millions of dollars to run the game. Is Kirby, are you scared of Nick Saban? Is that what that was? Are you scared of him? Just absolutely pissed all over himself in front of the entire world. And I shouldn't be shocked about that as a Georgia fan. That's just what we do. But yeah, I mean, either he intentionally did that or he just is the stupidest person I've ever met in my life. And I would like to think it's neither one of those things. Maybe we're just cursed and we need to get a voodoo doctor or something in there. And Rodrigo Blankenship missing a 30-yard field goal. You can hit 55-yard field goals, but you can't hit a 30-yarder. Are you kidding me? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, really? You can bust kickoffs throughout the end zone, but you can't hit an extra point. I'm sorry. That changed the complexion of the game. See, this is why Georgia loses games, not because we're not lesser talented than somebody, not because we don't have, the horses to match, but because we're too damn stupid. That's our problem. So that's why we lose games, and we're going to continue losing games to Alabama until we fix it.
Well, there does seem to be a curse in the state of Georgia with their sports team. The Falcons giving up a big one. Georgia's giving up a few to Alabama. I said before the game, I thought if Georgia gets up on them this time, they've learned their lesson, and they won't let Alabama back in the game. But as much as you're saying a lot of stupid things about Georgia, I still think that the thing about Saban, they've been here so many times, they didn't get frustrated, and they just kept plugging. They always believe they can beat anybody in the country. And I believe if they lined up against the Falcons or the Saints, they'd still think they could beat them or hang with them. I mean, it doesn't matter who they face. They're just a well-run program, and kudos to Alabama, and my heart goes out to Georgia. I picked Georgia to win before the season, and that's because everybody was picking Alabama, and I wanted to look like a genius. But I've got a lot of great Georgia people that watch me. But before we go into the playoff discussion, the selection committee, I'm going to do a round of shout-outs. I hope I can do all this right because I've got a lot going with this call-in studio, and I'm doing it from a rest area. So just hang with me. We got Matt 7397, SEC fan, Christian A, Austin Newsom. All y'all welcome to the stream. Aaron Ross always in here. Hound Dog, Jesse Stacy. Let's see, Hound Dog. I mentioned him. Matt Champion. Let's see. Not everybody comments, but there's a lot of you do. Aiden Christopher says he's a Georgia and a Texas A&M fan. Tennessee boy Curtis is in here. Roll Tide 24. Congratulations, Roll Tide. I believe I got everybody. But anyway, but let's talk about this this selection. Do you think that they got it right, Couch Coach?
Well, I mean, Alabama, if they win, they're going to get in, right? I mean, Clemson, if they win, they get in. I mean, Notre Dame, they're undefeated. They weren't going to get out. I mean, the biggest, I guess, surprise would have been Ohio State, not getting in. I really thought the committee was going to put a lot of emphasis on that win against Michigan, even over the body of work, which was not as impressive. But they didn't do that this time. They went with Oklahoma. So, not a bad choice. I mean, you could, there's a lot of talk, and Kirby has been pouting like a little baby about, not getting into the playoff, or he's saying, we're one of the top 4 teams in there, and we are a top 4 team in the country. But like I said before, and, I thought it was BS when Alabama got in last year, and it would have been BS if we got in this year. You don't win your conference game, you don't get in. Alabama won, so they deserve to be in. What's the problem here, Kirby? You blew the game last night. You blew the game. You lost to LSU by 20. So I just don't have any patience for that. But the committee got it, fairly right as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all tied. You got to face the Oklahoma Sooners. What are you thinking about this game? They got one heck of an offense. And before we go into that, I think with all that's transpired the last week and especially yesterday, has the Heisman Trophy race changed at all? And I want to hear from you on that at 855-489-7623. What do you think about this game coming up with Oklahoma? They've got a Heisman contender, and he's been lighting it up, but their defense is about like a I don't know, just paper mache. They don't even have a defense. I believe they just play offense and don't send anybody out there on defense. What are you feeling about this game?
Well, they do got a high-powered offense, but this won't be the first time we played against Murray. I mean, he was a freshman before he transferred to OU at Texas A&M, so we got to see him. So I mean, I know we had a little game plan for him, so I don't know if that game plan will work now, but we have faced him before. So, I think it's going to be a high-scoring football game. Oklahoma's going to have to put up points to play with us. And I think Tua's going to have a big game. Whoever's playing quarterback, I think Jalen Hurts will have a big game too against that defense. It is what it is.
As surprising as that sounds, I think you guys and because here's the thing with Alabama going to that situation, especially if Tua kind of a little dinged up. I know he's got a couple weeks before the bowl game or whatever, and he'll be ready to go. But the thing is I actually feel like Alabama is going to have a better time just running the ball right at them. We had a lot of success, obviously, at that last year. And clearly, you guys can do that. I think that's Alabama's way to really attack them as opposed to try to get in track meet football with them. Because I just don't see that defense holding up, especially against the run game you guys have.
Well, I agree with that. I thought we should have kept with the run, and against y'all yesterday. We just kept on trying to throw about every damn. I don't know why we didn't keep running it, but I think it's pick your poison, and I think it'll go the way Nick Saban wants the game to go. How the game plan is going to play out. I do think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board to change a little bit in our offense because people are catching up to us. Mel Tucker did a great job against us yesterday. Man, it was a big time performance by Georgia's defense. They punched us in the mouth all day long. And man, this game with Oklahoma, which I think their defense has gotten a little better since they got rid of ball too. So I mean, we'll see, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I just think we need a lot of rest. I think this heavy-ended schedule has got to us because we went LSU. Well, first we go to Tennessee, got a week off, went to LSU, then right back to Mississippi State, and it showed in that Citadel game, and it showed in that Iron Bowl game. So I think we need some time off to heal up and get our minds right. But one thing I do know about Nick Saban, you don't give him 4 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for this Alabama to come out with their hair on fire and to send a message, because we're probably going to see Clemson in the final. I don't think Notre Dame's going to beat Clemson, so we're probably we're going to set it up, and hopefully we can set up that game again with Clemson once again. But we got to get through Oklahoma. They got a hell of an offense, and they're a proud tradition, and it's going to be fun. Talking trash for them during that game week.
Well, I wanted to shout out Shane Bentley, great Georgia fan. He's always good for a super chat, and it really helps me put this show on because it costs me some money, and I really, really appreciate it. And I just want to put on a show that's entertaining for all SEC fans. This is called the Volunteer Roadshow, but it's really not a Tennessee-centric show. It's all of the SEC, and I try to involve all SEC fans on this show. We've got a couple on hold. But at some point, I want to talk to you about the sandbagging that Nick Saban did on Tua's injury, because I think he was nicked up, but he was telling the press, hey, he's fine, nothing wrong. It was just his leg brace or whatever. But anyway, we're going to go to the calls. We got an 865 been on hold a few minutes, and let's see what he's got for us. What you got for the legendary Lawtide Catfish and Couch Coach?
Hey, what a game that was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the point about whether or not Georgia should have been in the playoffs, I was thinking that they should, and nothing against Oklahoma and Ohio State. They both played great games yesterday, and they both won their conference championship. But I don't think there's too many people in the country that if you ask them, hey, is Georgia one of the top four best teams in the country, not too many people can say that they're not. And what I thought when they originally came out with the playoff is that they were going to get the four best teams, not the four most deserving teams, not the four conference champions, but the four best teams in the country. And that's one reason why I thought that Georgia should have stayed in. And honestly, I think that there would be an argument to be made to say that Oklahoma and Georgia should be in the playoff and kick Notre Dame out, at least until they join a conference and actually have a conference championship game and not a bye week there.
Yeah, well, listen, definitely how we played against Alabama. And I knew we played hard against Alabama. Look, these scores that everyone was saying about 52-20. Even Lawtide thought that was ridiculous. We knew this was going to be a tough game. I think Lawtide, you were actually pretty close. You said 38-28 or something like that. It was 35-28. Georgia and Alabama, they just match up well on neutral sites. They just do. That just is what it is. But at some point, and this is just me speaking, there's other Georgia fans that will disagree with me. We need to stop patting ourselves on the back for playing Alabama close, right? The whole point is to beat Alabama, right? We beat Alabama, we get into the playoffs, we're not even having this discussion. So that's just kind of my thing.
I think had Georgia beaten LSU, that this game yesterday would have been, I don't want to say insignificant, but if Georgia had beaten LSU, then Georgia would have stayed in the top four, regardless 100%. Of their loss to Alabama.
Yeah, yep. I agree. Yep. I agree. One thing that got me about it was, they kept Georgia ahead of Ohio State. I know that probably had to burn them Ohio State fans up. Oh yeah. And I wonder what old Powell thought about it. But anyway,
I'm looking for his number to show up.
I'm sure he was in the floor. He was an Alabama fan, and then they go out and win another conference championship, and they get denied again. But I don't think they could look past that Purdue loss and the fact that Maryland put 50 points on them.
Yeah.
That Ohio State Northwestern game, I was saying before the game that I thought that game was going to be close, and the game was much closer than the final score indicates. Ohio State did pull away there at the end, but I thought Northwestern gave them about everything they could handle for a little while.
Yeah, I think so too. And if Northwestern wouldn't have fumbled the football and turned the ball over like they did, they might have beat Ohio State. Who knows? Ohio State's defense is atrocious, about as atrocious as Oklahoma's defense. So the thing of what Oklahoma did, they avenged a loss. I mean, they lost to Texas in the Red River Shootout, and they got to avenge it. I mean, I think that bought into a lot with the committee, and I think that's why they put them in.
Yeah, and just the final take on the Georgia one. I think, and this is, Catfish and I, we talked about this, and even I talked about this throughout the course of the season with Georgia. This is a transitional team for Georgia, and I've said this from day one. I mean, we are a bunch of freshmen, sophomores, and I know Alabama has some of those things going on too. But, Alabama's, 12th year into the program. Kirby's a third-year head coach, right? I mean, so I've been telling people, listen, I mean, you never know, right? I mean, you don't have a crystal ball in front of you, but I always feel like 2019 is the year where they're going to have one of their super teams. I mean, this year, it's like this is a Sugar Bowl caliber team, and, we'll go 11, 12 wins, and that's about what we're looking like here. So I think that with Georgia, with Kirby, it's like play the long game here, man. You're playing a lot of freshmen. They're getting a lot of experience. I know you got frustrated last night. You called a dumb play, whatever. But, look ahead with this staff and this squad that you got, because it's very, very good football players.
I agree. I agree. We got a couple more calls on hold, Aaron. I appreciate you calling. Before you go, what do you think about this Heisman race? Do you think that Tua's injuries are going to affect that at all, or do you think it's his no matter what?
As far as what will happen, I'm not sure. I think Tua deserves the Heisman. I think over the course of this entire season, I think he has been kind of like Alabama. He's been the undisputed number one player in the country. And take nothing away from Kyler Murray. He's a great quarterback, and he did have a better game yesterday than Tua had yesterday. But I think if you took away the injury that Tua had that was clearly bugging him that whole game, you take that away, I think he would have played much better. And plus a lot of Alabama receivers were just dropping open passes yesterday, so I think that really hurt his stats also.
Well,
I agree. I think one thing was real big in the game was in the third quarter when after Hot Rod missed that field goal, which I didn't think he'd ever do. We come down and we got the touchdown. I think that's when he was getting in his rhythm. And I think he would have finished strong, too. I don't know if he would have won the game like Jalen did, but I think he would have finished strong because I felt like he was getting his rhythm.
Well, I appreciate it, Aaron. I'm gonna grab another call, but everybody in the comment section, I got a trucker friend of mine. He's King of Cans. He's got a crazy YouTube channel. Y'all go sub him up. Tell him Catfish sent you. He's building these old antique cars and drinking beer on YouTube, and he's got a great channel. Go check him out. Nice to see you in here, Coop. But anyway, back to the sandbagging. Do you think that Saban was sandbagging? Was Tua really nicked up a little bit in the Citadel and the Auburn game, and do you think that's to explain for some of their struggles, or what? How do you feel about that? Are you there? Looks like we lost him.
Might be having some mic. Yeah, might have some mic stuff there, Catfish.
Yeah, we might be. Call back in, Law Tide, and I'll put you back in. But we're going to go to Alan V, Georgia fan, great Georgia fan. He's been watching me since last year, and if I can get him to hit the talk button. How you doing, Alan? How are you feeling today?
Good evening, Catfish. I am recovering, and I'm just trying to put the brakes on the couch coach. I love the couch coach to death. His first statements,
let him have it.
The disappointment, the anger, the frustration. I love the couch coach. I felt it. I digested it last night. I digested it this morning. But his second statement, where he came back to earth and let everybody know It's a transitional year. We're the youngest team in the Southeastern Conference. We've got more talent than the team that barely escaped us last night. I'm extremely level-headed when it comes to the Dogs, and we've had an outstanding season for as young as we are, as a team, coach, the whole thing. It's a miracle that we're doing this well, and I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. You know, that's healthy, right? I mean, that's how a healthy fan, a well-adjusted person should think, right? Can't make any claims on any of that. No, I think you're right. And look, you know, I guess my thing is I'm just frustrated with, you know, the in-game decision-making. Like, I think Georgia's deal is, look, we're clearly proven that we can hang with Alabama. And I don't think what we were favored about lose by 2 touchdowns against these guys. So,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that we fought hard. I'm happy that, you know, this team came out and really hit them in the mouth. I mean, no one has even come close to Alabama this year. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm definitely happy with the way our guys fought. I mean, if we lost 52-20, I'd be really disappointed in that. But at the same time, look, you know, I mean, we got to improve on our mistakes. I mean, you got to get better there, you know?
Absolutely. Is Law Tide back on?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, go ahead.
Law Tide, I wanted to be one of the first Bulldogs that you have been conversing with over the course of the fall. I really enjoy your show, your commentary, your humor. It's been fun going back and forth with you all fall, sir. And I just wanted to congratulate you for the victory. And I also wanted to say, from a fan's perspective, watching Hurts come in when Tua got hurt was one of the if you're an Alabama fan, it's got to be one of the proudest moments to see a kid who's been replaced on the roster, hasn't played a whole lot all year, was hurt a few weeks ago, and comes in. Did he miss a pass? I didn't look at the tape again. He was on fire that last 5 minutes, and couldn't be prouder of that kid for sticking with the program, doing what he was supposed to do, and coming in when he was needed. That guy was a hero last night. I thought I was watching some sort of Walt Disney movie at the end there. It was unbelievable what that kid did, and I want to just tell you, Law Tide, you got to be proud of how that ended last night.
Oh, it was awesome. I was really proud of him. I mean, man, it almost made me cry. I ain't going to sit here and lie to y'all. It almost did.
It did Saban.
After he done
up.
that, hey, I ain't going to lie. I mean, I was so proud of him.
Yep.
And, you know, even when he comes in and we're beating teams by 28, 35 points, the crowd's just, you know, they love him. Everybody loves him because he's just a great human being. He's a great kid. And I'm proud to say he comes from the University of Alabama. And, man, he's gonna be a legend forever. He's gonna be a legend forever.
He will. His name will be in the books forever. Catfish, I want to tell you, I really appreciate the time on your show. You do a great job. Congratulations to Law Tide. And Couch Coach, we still got another game to play, so hang in there, buddy. Don't jump off any cliffs.
Yep.
You guys have a great night.
All right, you too, Alan.
Thanks for watching, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Well, when I was talking when you got dropped off earlier, Law Tide, is do you think Saban was sandbagging on Hurts' injury? Because everybody said, oh, he's hurt, but Saban said, no, he's fine. He was just his knee brace was hurting him. But do you think that attributed any to the struggles with Citadel and Auburn? And maybe, I mean, I think he was sandbagging. I think he was hurt coming into the game, contrary to what Saban says. But you know how them coaches are. They got to say stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you're going to have some kind of injuries coming in. I mean, you're playing at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You're playing in the toughest conference in the country. Yeah, I think he's sandbagging. I mean, you just don't see a kid when he runs out of bounds, he pulls up, and you're like, yeah, there's something still wrong with him. But you know, he wanted to play, and you know, he kept practicing at a high level, and coach stuck with him, and you know, I think those injuries finally caught up with him. You know, when he got rolled up, there's a lot of times where he was just sitting there trying to make a play where he didn't need to, holding the ball too long.
Yeah.
And, and that's what got him hurt. If he would just, all right, they're not open, let me throw it away or let me run it up the middle or whatever. But, Georgia was playing such great defense. He didn't have nowhere to throw it.
Yeah.
And I think I had a part of him getting hurt and, just injuries just mounting up, nick here, nick there. But, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Nick was sandbagging. He's probably going to be more healthy coming into this Orange Bowl than he is probably the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, we want to looks like we got an Alabama fan. I'm going to leave you on a minute, Law Tide. But I'm going to bring him on the 256 area code. You're on with the legendary Law Tide, Catfish and Couch Coach. What you got?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good. How about you?
Excellent.
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited about these college football playoff matchups and the SEC matchups that's coming up bowl season.
What you most excited about out of that?
Out of all of them, I'm most excited about the Orange Bowl, Alabama versus Oklahoma.
Well, if I was an Alabama fan, I would too. But I've got to announce something. I forgot to do it at the beginning of the show. For those of you that wanted to hear some good trash talking, last Wednesday I had two great YouTubers on, Law Tide and Uncle Lou, and FFO number 4, a fan face-off. It was fantastic. Go back and watch it. The voting is over. Uncle Lou won the fan face-off 3-2. And he got a Tiki Totem and a $25 gift card for Amazon. But in trash talking, you got to be a little bit right. Ain't that right, Law Tide? You just got to be a little bit right.
You got to have some reality to you.
Yeah, got to have some reality to you. And so I had Woodard Whitetails, who sponsored all the gifts up there in Glasgow, Kentucky. Great accommodations, 5-star lodging there and some big bucks. But they put up the prize. But there was a prize of $50, a Bass Pro or a Cabela's gift card for whoever's team won, and that would be Alabama and you, Law Tide. So I'll let you think about which one you want, Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's, and I'll get that out to you. But congratulations on winning the game, because I bet you everything I got, you'd rather win the game and lose that Tiki Totem, because you've got 2 in the trophy case. Ain't that right?
Oh yeah. He can have it. He can have that Tiki this year. I mean, Lou's a great trash talker. I ain't never gonna take nothing from him. Shoot, I'm the one that found him and put him on YouTube.
That's right.
And brought him to the football forum. So I'm proud of him. That's what he done what he's supposed to do. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. But yeah, my team talked for me, like they've been talking for me for 10 years, and I appreciate the prize, and hope to do it again.
You're going to do it again. Are you going to do it again against Pigskin Pete and Clemson, or is it going to? We need to find us a Notre Dame fan to do a fan face-off against Clemson. So anybody that knows somebody that can chop it up with a Notre Dame fan, send me an email at volunteerroadshow@gmail.com. But back to our caller, congratulations on the win. Did you almost cry like Law Tide and Saban did after the game when you saw that comeback with Tua and Hurts coming in for him like that? That was great.
Yeah, I was listening on the radio since I left my parents' house. I was watching on the TV in their house. I was like, I can't stand this no more. They were losing. So I was like, I went back to my place and just listened to it on the radio, listened to Eli on the way through. And when I heard Jalen was coming in, I was getting scared. I was like, oh, Lord.
For the record, I want Couch Coach to reveal the text. He may not be remembered because I think he might have had a few beers. But when that injury happened, I texted you something. What did I text you? Could you tell everybody, or do you remember?
I don't really remember.
Well, I'll read what I texted. I'm gonna pull it up here on my phone just so everybody knows that I am a genius. And thanks for watching the show. If you're watching, you're a genius too. Let's see if I can find it. I can't find your name. Anyway, I said if Hurts brings Alabama back, ... and that's what happened. I tell you what, when that happened, I guess your mind, I watched too much WWE back in the day where you think, oh, this might be rigged or something. I said, this is a perfect script. If this lasts and goes the way, a movie should go, Hurts is going to come back and bring him back. And my God, if he did. But anyway, caller, congratulations on the win. I appreciate you watching me.
I do have one question to ask.
Yeah.
About a certain SEC team in Kentucky. Is anybody shocked that they got actually a good matchup for a bowl game?
I didn't hear what their matchup is. Could you? I've been asleep all
day.
They're
going to be playing they're playing Penn State.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know I got some Kentucky fans that watch me, and I am an SEC homer, especially since I do this show, which has a lot of SEC fans. But I think Penn State's going to take them to the woodshed. What do you think, Couch Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say, I mean, obviously I base a lot of my opinion on that line, right? But, yeah, I mean, with that offense that Kentucky has, I mean, you got to be able to generate points, and I just don't know if they could do that against Penn State.
Yeah. Well, anyway, caller, I appreciate you calling. I'm going to grab one more. I've got a 470 calling in. Says his name's Kevin. Let's see what he's got to say. Kevin, you're on with Couch Coach and Lawtide and Catfish. What you got for us?
What's going on, guys? I'm obviously a Georgia fan. I am devastated. I have no words. A game you had won once again. It's the same thing when we play Alabama these last three meetings. You have it right there, and we can't get it done. 2012, 21-10 lead in the third, can't hold on. I get it's coaching staff, different coaching staff, and I'm just saying it. 2018 national title, you have a 20-7 lead, you can't hang on, and then yesterday you have a 28-14 lead, and you can't finish it. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm never saying anything bad about Alabama again. I don't care if we play them next year and we're up 35-7 in the fourth quarter. I'm not saying anything at all until the game's over. It's just devastating. I'm a Falcons fan as well. I've seen Super Bowl chokes. I've seen it all. Georgia sports are cursed, whether you believe it or not. I don't know. Georgia sports are the definition of cursed. It's unreal. How do we manage back-to-back seasons for a backup quarterback to come in and win a game for a team? I don't get how that works. I blame this game on Kirby and our coaching staff. I'm not blaming our players. Our players played good enough to win that game. I blame it on the coaching staff and Kirby Smart's conservative, excuse my language, pussy play calling at the end of games, big games like this. He clearly learned nothing from that national title.
Yep. Well, I mean, everything you feel, I feel, man. I mean, it's, yeah. And this is what we talked about last time, I think, or the other night, when we're like, there's no reason to not let, open up the playbook on offense. I mean, especially, again, same mistakes. We had Stoney that was working well against them last year, didn't keep going with them. We had Swift, he was clearly having the better game. We put Holyfield in there, right? So it's not just, hey, we're going to score points and that makes a great offense. You have to look at how you use your personnel groupings. This is what elite coaches do. They look at everything here, right? They look at the situations. And nothing against, obviously, look, Nick is the greatest of all time. I'm saying he's better than the Bear. I'm sorry, Alabama fans. I know that he's an icon and everything. Nick is the greatest coach of all time, period. But, like last night, honestly, I felt it was more Georgia just screwing up, and Nick's like, okay, well, we're just kind of waiting, and then we'll capitalize. I don't feel like he made these ultra in-game, adjustments like he had against us in the past. I think he just waited and kind of kept plugging along, and we kept doing dumb stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah, for me, the turning point really was when Rodrigo missed that field goal. I could kind of feel the momentum really shifting, because I feel if you hit that field goal, it really changes the game and 100%. Makes our defense more I think that field goal changed. The fake punt, I don't get that. I mean, it's like whenever we do these kind of plays, like fake punts, fake field goals, whatever, we can't execute them. God knows how many times they do it in practice. When they do it on the field, they can't execute it. We outgained Alabama and everything, but when the fourth quarter rolls around, we shrivel up, conservative, scared. It's ridiculous. But shout out Law Tide, great win for the Tide. Y'all go win the whole thing for the SEC. I respect you, sir. You're a true Alabama fan. There's a lot of bandwagons, but you're one of the few ones that I can support. So y'all go win the national title and beat Oklahoma to a pulp. Oklahoma is not better than Georgia. I feel Georgia could have gotten a nod, but we just should have won yesterday. That's all I got. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and go Dogs.
Yes, sir.
That was a good call. For those of you tuning in that are Georgia fans, I said this earlier. I won the Dr. Pepper call a play contest where I get to call a play, and I won the contest, so I got to pick the team I called the play for. And I thought I was being a genius on that 4th and 11 fake punt, and I called the fake punt, but the team just didn't execute. If they had executed, Couch Coach, I'd have been a genius, and I'd have been running for governor. So I just want to put that out there. But anyway, we got one more call. Can you hang on a few minutes there, Law Tide, or you got to go?
Oh, I'm good. Go ahead.
All right, we got a 4-2-3. I think it's a Tennessee fan, but we'll see. Anyway, you're on with Catfish and Couch Coach and the legendary Law Tide. What you got?
How's it going, Couch Coach?
Oh man, I'm here, right? This is what Georgia teams do to me. They just kick me in the face every year, but I'm good, man.
He's feeling a little bit of a Tennessee syndrome, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, before you go, caller, I think this is Matt 7397. Uncle Lou said something on his video after the game that said he'd rather be blown out than lose like this. It just hurts so much. And I'm thinking there, watching this as a Tennessee fan, what I'd give to be able to feel his pain at an SEC championship game. But anyway, what you got for us?
Yeah, as soon as I heard him say that, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, let him be a Tennessee fan for the weekend.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking with the new coaching hires at Kansas, whoever Louisville will pick up, Texas Tech, and North Carolina. Who do y'all think will be the best in the long run, or best in short term? Just who you think will be better in this situation?
Ooh, I think.
Yeah,
go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
No, you got it, man. You got it.
Okay. I think Mike Brown's gonna do a good job. I think he's already got ties down there. He's coached there at UNC before. I think he's going to do a real good job at UNC. He's been itching to get back in the coaching game. You can see it when he's doing his his broadcasting and stuff. So I look for North Carolina to get a little better. As far as Les Miles out there in Kansas, man, I mean they're in a bad situation out there, and I don't know how long it's going to take. Probably a longer time for him to get that program going. But I think Matt Brown's going to work out pretty good at UNC.
Yeah, I don't understand the Les Miles hire either out there, because Les, to me, and this is just looking at it from, you guys know a lot more about that rivalry at Alabama than I do with Les Miles and LSU, but Les just strikes me as someone who's a good recruiter, but not necessarily a great in-game coach. And so I kind of feel that when you're taking over a program that's really bad, you kind of need someone that, at least has some schematic, expertise there to kind of win with some lesser parts. And I think with Les, I mean, he's really going to take it on the chin until he can build some, good recruiting bases in there. But I think, Les is definitely a proven recruiter, so that's a positive for them. But yeah, that's a strange hire. It's kind of like Tuberville. Where did he go to? It was something like after
Cincinnati.
I'm trying to remember that school. What's
He
that?
went to Cincinnati. He went to Texas Tech.
Yep.
Texas Tech.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yep.
an interesting hire. So we'll see.
Matt, what's going on with Tennessee's offensive coordinator? All these rumors about Hugh Freeze but I still haven't seen on Bleacher Report that they've announced anything officially. You think they're waiting for Monday? Do you think they're still interviewing? What's the deal? You get to check in on sports more than I do with me driving so much. What have you heard?
I've heard a couple of names. Of course, Hugh Freeze is the main name everybody hears about. But my personal opinion, I'm pumping the brakes on Hugh Freeze a little bit. I think Pruitt's system and what he wants to run is more, your pro style, your put the quarterback under center, run it, power run game with big running backs, and be able to throw it on third down deep. He sort of had that with Helton. I think Hugh Freeze is more you spread them out and play your positions, play put a linebacker on the receiver at times, spread everybody out. That's more my opinion on it. Myself, I think they could go after Randy Sanders at ETSU. That's sort of a name I've heard as well.
I thought Kingsbury was in the running, but I haven't heard his name brought up any lately. He's a innovative mind. He's young.
He went to USC.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
He's gone to USC.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Wow.
Yep.
I wouldn't want him anyway because of his is just spread them out again, spread everybody out and play your positions. Play one-on-one matchups. I'd rather have what they were putting in, what they built this recruiting class on is your pro style with a 3-4 defense. Pro style offense, 3-4 defense, and just play power and just run people over. I think they could go after Randy Sanders, ETSU is my bet. But with everybody talking, it's probably going to be Hugh Freeze, offensive coordinator.
Well, somebody made a comment in the comments section that Hugh Freeze has not been cleared by the SEC office to coach in the conference yet. That's from Steve Holland. And but I appreciate your call. Before you go, what do you think about this playoff committee? Do you think they got it right? The 4 teams you think should be in there?
I think they got it right. I'll be honest with you. Alabama, of course, will be number 1. I think if they would have lost to Georgia, it would have been tough to keep them out just because of what type of dominance they had. It's hard to say as a Tennessee fan. But Oklahoma really showed out a little bit against Texas. They put on a good showing. Ohio State, if they would have drummed Northwestern like 52-7 or something like that, then they probably could have been in it if Alabama would have lost. But they didn't lose, and they sort of played what they had. And Notre Dame, I've heard a lot of people in Notre Dame shouldn't be in there, but they did beat Michigan earlier in the season, and they went undefeated through their schedule. So it's hard to complain if they're in it or not. Clemson is your number 2, and number 4, Oklahoma. It's sort of just they played what they were dealt with. So yeah, they made a really good decision in what happened. I know a lot of people, Ohio State fans, are unhappy, but they shouldn't have lost to Purdue. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I appreciate it, Matt, and hang in there. We'll be back. I'm going to be doing some basketball live call-in shows. I'm going to have Mark Rogers TV on the show either this week or next week. I've emailed him a little bit. I just got to see what my schedule is. I've got doctors to go to But stay watching me. I appreciate it. You're always in this live stream, and it's good to see Tennessee fans at least showing up and keeping the numbers close between Georgia fans and Tennessee fans that watch me. So I appreciate it.
We got to keep that big arm strong. Go Vols.
Go Vols. But anyway, I'm going to make one more rundown through the live chat, and then I'm going to come back and wrap it up. JC69's in here. Tech Boogie LaFleur, Herbert Bradford. I'm probably butchering these names. Aaron Ross, Aaron Short, Fishful. Let's see. It's going so fast. College Football Talk. Y'all go check him out. Joshua Simmons is always in here. Sorry about that, buddy, for the loss. G. Grace. Conlon McNerney. I'm going to go back a little bit. I see Cinder McGavin in here. Shane Bentley. Well, anyway, I guess that's it. What are you going to be doing over the next 4 weeks, Law Tide, as an Alabama fan? You going to be making any good videos, or you going to start trashing it up with Oklahoma fans? Hey, R.J. Young's a great YouTuber for Oklahoma. And, King of Kansas in here. Oni Kuno. You know, y'all got a lot of people to trash talk with coming up, so you're going to be getting into that.
Yeah, me and Oni Kuno, we've known each other since I've been on here, so. He's a real good one. Bad Dog, he's a good one too. He's an Oklahoma fan. Bad Dog 76. I'm just gonna relax, man. I'm just gonna relax, like Saban said they ain't gonna do no practice for 2 weeks. They still gonna do their little fourth quarter program. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna lay back and relax and.
Well, we got to do a fan face-off for the playoffs like I did last year. Contact Oni Kuno and say if he's got a hair on his hiney, he needs to get on a fan face-off. But he might be scared of you. I don't know, because you can bring him.
No, he ain't scared of nobody. He ain't no daggone scared of nobody. But he's a busy man. I mean, he's the tallest man in Orlando and might be the only man there that don't have a tan. So I'll see if I can get him on here.
Get him on. We'll have a fan face-off.
I'll see if I can't get him on here.
And
you might have to buy him some. You might have to buy him some Dragon Balls or something, but he'll get on here with us.
Well, we got Allied Oil and Tires putting up all the prizes for the playoff fan face-offs, and tell him you need a Dallas Cowboy tiki totem, and he needs to get on. That's what you need to tell him.
Well, we can both battle for it because he's a Cowboys fan too.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. But yeah, it'll be fun. Thanks. Just get in touch with me. Thanks for having me on. Hey, Cows Coach. Cheers, brother. Drink one for me, and we'll see you again next year, brother. Y'all be good.
All right, sir.
That reminds me, Couch Coach. What was the beer of choice yesterday? Miller Lite, Bud Light, Corona.
Well, I was at the Atlanta brewing company yesterday, so I had about 20 different types. You had those little tap rooms, and you had the different assortments there. So they all were my beer of choice yesterday to drown out my frickin' sorrows again.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll let you know what my schedule is, and we'll get back together and do some more shows. I'm going to have Mark Rogers on and start doing some basketball. Might have Spencer from Rover Sports. He said he'd help me with the basketball. So anyway, y'all know what's coming next. It comes at the end of every show. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. The off season has officially begun for my Vols, and we're the 11th time in a row off-season national champions. So you know what that means. We're going 15-0. I promise you that.